Hi, my name is Nick. I'm one of the owners of Castrads and this is my family home. We are doing a complete retrofit, so we've gone back to brick on an 1897 semi-detached house here in Heaton Moor in Stockport, which is about 10 minutes from our factory in Reddish. It's a double-skinned brick house, so there's a small cavity with cast iron ties, and we've insulated internally, installed triple glazed windows, and today we're installing an air source heat pump with Damon Blakemore, who's one of the Heat Geek Elite installers. We're in the Heaton Moor conservation area, which has meant that we've had to be very careful about what we do externally, but that hasn't prevented us from bringing the thermal performance of this house right up close to Enofit standards. I'm going to take you inside so we can see exactly what we've done to bring the heat loss down by 80%. The biggest source of heat loss in this house was through the external walls. So to counteract that, we've added 60mm of wood fibre insulation, which is breathable. And on top of the insulation, we've got a lime plaster. Here you can see the scratch coat, and on top of that goes a final finish, a couple of layers of final finish. We were really keen to preserve the rounded corners that we found in this house, which I think are lovely. And to do that, we've moulded the wood fibre insulation and plastered on top of that. And you can see how it comes to a point at the top, which I love that detail. The house had open fireplaces and we've boarded all of those off. And instead of the open fireplace, we're going to have some reclaimed French stoves, which will use a bioethanol brick that goes inside them to create a little extra heat. Not that we'll need it, it's just for show, but we really like that Victorian feature. So to show you how we've done these fireplaces, how we've made them airtight, we've actually implanted some of the same wood fibre insulation into the chimney, which is capped off at the top. And then there's, again, a scratch coat of lime plaster on top of this, and that will be finished to the same standard as the walls. There weren't many original features to retain in this house because in the 70s, someone came along and ripped out pretty much everything of interest. The fireplaces were gone, the original bell pulls were gone. The thing that remained in really good condition was the floorboards, because they were covered by 50 years of carpet. So we're keen to retain the original floorboards. Not all of them are perfect, so we have bought some new reclaimed pine floorboards. And this is what they are going to look like. We are going to go for this stain here, which I think is going to look great with the various decor that we are doing. We're on the West Coast main line, and the first night that we stayed here, we woke up in the middle of the night and thought, oh my God, what have we done? This is so noisy. There was a freight train going past and it woke us up. So as well as amazing thermal efficiency, these triple glazed windows do an excellent job at blocking out the train sound in the middle of the night. With the triple glazing, these are really heavy units, so they require lead weights to counterbalance them. The cords are made of polypropylene. I love the hardware, which is from the anvil, and the open like a dream. When we first moved in, this was a brick wall. We've taken the wall out and put a rugby post of steel in. This is going to be our kitchen, and this will be the dining area. The kitchen units will run pretty much from here all the way to the back. There were two chimney breasts here and here, which we've taken out, and this has all got 60mm of the wood fibre insulation in with the lime rendering on the top. At the back there, we had just one window. We've taken that out, we've enlarged it, and we've moved the access to the garden from the hallway through to the kitchen, which allows us nice flow through and has also created the space for a downstairs loo, which we were missing and my mum said we absolutely must have. Chimney breasts are a little tricky to insulate. There's always air gaps and so on. Taking them out completely just gave us a straight run and also moved the space available back towards the room, made it much easier to plan for the kitchen. Up in the ceiling, you can see 4 tracks. Those tracks will be plastered in so that they're completely flush, and then into those tracks will go these lights, which are from TM Lighting. They're directional so they can go onto the walls, which allows us to bounce the light around the room and make for a really nice ambient lighting scenario. So here we're in one of the girls' bedrooms. This is a party wall. So we've got 20mm wood fibre insulation on this wall. And you're close to the final finish on the lime plaster here, which is just a gorgeous, gorgeous pale cream colour. And again, this is the only other fireplace in the house. And again, we've boarded this up. This is a mirror image of the room below. We've got the really beautifully curved detail on the corner here. And if you pan across here, you can see the colour change between the two different types of plasters that we've used in this room. So the pink is gypsum, cheaper, and this is the lime plaster on the external walls where it needs to be breathable. We're now in the master bedroom, which is where Annie and I will sleep. and the pipes here are for 3 Emmeline wands, which are going to go just below the windows here. And that's plenty of heat for this room with the 60mm wood fibre insulation on the walls. Our bed will be here with a couple of wall lights. And this, which used to be the only bathroom in the house, will now be our walk-in wardrobe, complete with laundry chute that goes all the way down to the basement. Heat is lost from homes through 2 ways. The fabric, which is through the windows and the walls and so on, and we've solved for that by adding insulation to the internal walls and by using triple glazed windows and so on. But the other way in which heat is lost is ventilation. Now, we've made this house as airtight as possible for a 125-year-old house, but we still need to control the moisture levels and make sure that we're getting fresh air in. To do that, we've installed mechanical ventilation and heat recovery throughout the whole house. So that's a central system of ducting with a unit in the basement that controls the whole thing. In the warm, wet areas like this bathroom and the kitchen, we're extracting warm and wet air, and it goes down into the basement. The heat is then exchanged with fresh incoming air, and that fresh warm air is then distributed into the other living areas, places like the bedrooms and the living rooms. When I first viewed this house, this was a loft space, and it had spray foam insulation all up here. The bank wouldn't lend against this house until the spray foam insulation was removed and the rafters could be inspected. And the cheapest way to do that was actually just to remove the roof and replace it. And the seller had to do that at their own cost, which I think was a huge shame. But it meant that we got a new roof, and it meant that we were able to borrow against the house. We now have clay tiles, membrane, air gap, 60mm of wood fibre insulation, plasterboard, and it will be skimmed soon. We're here in the basement, which is going to be our plant room. I'm here with Damon Blakener, who's a heat geek elite. This is the internal unit of the Weissman heat pump, which we're using. So it's got the defrost unit and the controls. We've got the Alexion reaction chamber, which is going to allow us not to use any chemicals in the system. It keeps it completely corrosion free. And here we've got the Newark hot water cylinder, which is developed in conjunction with HeatGeek. And that's going to provide us with all the hot water that we need. And then finally, in the corner there, you can just see those 2 pipes. And that is the MVHR, or it's where the MVHR unit will go. So one of those pipes is the extract unit, and the other is the supply kicking fresh air into all of the rooms. So we're still in the plant room. This is going to be our utility room. So this is the termination of the laundry chute. This comes all the way down from our bedroom. Here we've got a little bit of MVHR ducting. The washing machine will be here, tumble dryer here, and comms cabinet up here with a big Belfast sink here so we can wash all of our grills.